Hello everybody, I'm Pilar Archila with Pure Gold, and today I'm sitting here with David Polhill. He's the president of Duncan Tire here in Dublin, Georgia. How are you today?
I'm good, Pilar. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. And a little nervous, of course, but excited to be here representing the Chamber of Commerce.
Let me tell you, David, I had several people sitting here, and so far I have not beaten anybody yet.
Good, good.
So don't be nervous.
That's right. I'll try not to be. Thank you.
David, are you originally from Lawrence County or Dublin?
I am not. While I'm not originally from Dublin, Lawrence County, my mom is originally from Lawrence County. Her side of the family has a long lineage in Lawrence County.
Who is your mom?
My mom is Betsy Keene, of course married name Polhill, but she lived in Dublin, grew up in Dublin. About 16 she moved to a small little town called Louisville, which is about halfway between here and Augusta, Georgia.
I go to Louisville often, court.
Yeah, but not much happening in Louisville
County.
now. That's right. But she is where she met my father, and of course that's where I came from, no doubt. But I did actually live in Dublin about 1985, 86 for a short period of time, but then we moved back to Louisville. But I ended up coming to Dublin. I went to University of Georgia, and I was graduating and didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I had a degree in criminal justice, had done some investigative work for Athens, Clarke County, and decided that really wasn't what I wanted to do. And fortunately, my future father-in-law pulled a few strings and spoke with Roger Folsom, who you're very familiar with, I'm sure, with Med First, and he got me a job, so I moved to Dublin. And I tell you what, Roger is a fine man.
He is.
He is
I love him.
a great community supporter, and I learned a lot from Roger, and I owe him a lot. I sure do. Thank you, Roger. But I appreciate all he did for me. But after about 6 months or so of working with Roger, I started working with my father-in-law at Duncan Tire Company on the weekends, that kind of stuff. And
now, back then, he was your father-in-law or not?
He was my future father-in-law.
Oh, he was still your future.
I met my wife in Athens, but I moved to Dublin before we actually were married, like I said, and started working with Roger. But so you can say a girl brought me to Dublin, you know, or a job, but either way, I needed money, so I came to Dublin. But after working, you know, weekends and holidays with my father-in-law, I finally went to him one day and said I want to come to work full-time. So that's how I ended up at Duncan Tire.
I see.
So,
how long ago was that?
Well, September will be 17 years ago. I started working full-time. We've been very blessed. We're fixing to come into our 75th year. 2015 will be 75 years of business.
That's right.
So I'm pretty proud of that. We all are. I'm third generation. My brother-in-law, Rob Miller, and I are both third generation, second generation in-law. Mr. Duncan, who's Scott Beasley, my father-in-law's, that was his father-in-law. So we've kind of in-lawed it, you know, here for a couple of generations. But we've been very blessed. The community has always supported us, and that's one reason why, you know, we're involved in the Chamber, because we want to give back to a community that has supported us so many years. You know, what can we do to help other businesses grow? What can we do to help attract new business come into town?
Yes, we have a wonderful, great community, and we love to give back to the community.
Yeah, certainly.
And I'm talking we, TV35. TV35 is very committed to our community and the Chamber of Commerce.
Yep, certainly you are. We, one thing that struck me when I first came to Dublin was, you know, the community itself, how graciously or how they accepted me into the community, how encouraging they were. I mean, it kind of took me aback, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Because I've never been a part of a community like this, and it's truly awesome to live in Dublin, Lawrence County.
Yes,
it sure
I
is.
feel the same way, and I'm not even from Georgia or United States.
Yes, ma'am.
And they really make me feel wonderful.
Yep, sure do.
So you married?
I'm married to Scott's youngest daughter, Jenny.
Yes.
We have two beautiful girls. I have a 13-year-old, Anna Scott, and she'll be in 8th grade, which they start school here shortly at Northwest Lawrence, not Northwest, but West Lawrence Middle School.
Right.
And then I have a 10-year-old, Rebecca, who is going to be in 5th grade at Trinity.
Wow, time
So,
flies.
It does. It
I
sure
remember
does.
when your girls were very little.
Yes, they're not little anymore.
I cannot believe that they
My 13-year-old especially. She is.
teenagers.
She's a teenager, sure is, but I love them to death.
Yes.
They're a blessing, they sure are.
I know that you're very involved with the Chamber of Commerce, and you're one of the board of directors.
Yes, ma'am.
And being in the board of directors, do you have a special position there?
Well, I am in charge, or they call me chairman of House and Grounds Committee. The Chamber of Commerce and the Development Authority are both housed in the house formerly known as the Morris Home on Bellevue Avenue. The Chamber is on the 1st floor,
Yes.
and the Development Authority is on the 2nd floor. But basically, what we do, of course, like any business, we try to maintain what we have, add where needed, and of course keep the grounds, you know, beautiful, because we represent Dublin Lawrence County, so we want to keep it that way. If you're not familiar, in 2006 they built the McGrath Keene Senior Conference Center.
Yes.
And
A great addition
that was
to
a great
our
addition.
chamber. Yes.
Yes, it was. And a couple years later, if you haven't noticed out back, there's a Louis Livingston Garden, which the Livingston family donated resources for that. And I would have to say our chamber is probably one of the nicest chambers in the state of Georgia.
Yes.
And so it's part of my job to make sure it stays that way. So it's a pretty big responsibility, but
Yeah.
the chamber, like Malia at the chamber, she pretty much takes care of it, but
Yes.
she's on top of it. She does a great job. It's wonderful to have people working for the chamber like Malia, like Willie. We're very blessed. We sure are.
Yeah, and Matthew, and I noticed, like you said, your position is very important, because when someone comes to Dublin and they go to our chamber, the first impression is a lasting impression.
That's right.
So you go and it's a beautiful chamber, beautiful gardens, beautiful. Immediately you go, this community is going to be just great.
That's right. Certainly.
Well,
But that's what the chamber's here for, is to promote the community.
Yeah.
Kind of a cheerleader for the local businesses.
Right.
To help attract also new business, of course.
why do you think it's very important to a small or big business to be a member of our chamber?
Well, I tell you, like I said before, at least for Duncan Tire, we've been supported for, like I said, almost 75 years now by Dublin Lawrence County, and that's awesome. I tell you what, it's hard to believe that we've been able to stay in business, and the community has supported us.
Right.
So it's kind of like I said before, what can we do to give back to help support other businesses, help attract new businesses, and make this town a better
And
place?
support our chamber. You
Right.
know, sometimes we we think is what they can do for me, but
Right.
it would be better what I can do for them.
That's right. What can we do to help the chamber? That's correct.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I really believe that even if you own a small business, the support that the chamber gives is so great.
It is.
And it's not even, we have dues, membership dues, but they're not real high or anything like that.
Right.
But the support that we receive from the chamber is just amazing.
That's right. Well, the chamber does a lot of things. It sure does. Of course, they do ribbon cuttings and that kind of stuff for new businesses, which is wonderful. I commend anybody who's willing to step out on a ledge and spend their resources and time to start a new business, especially in our community. So they are certainly there to support you in that effort. They also, when it comes time to, say, grow your business or remodel or something, I know when we built our store on Hillcrest in '01, I mean, they were there, right there with us, cheering us on, encouraging us to be successful.
Absolutely.
And that's what the chamber does. Just another example, just the other month, Dublin Wind Electric, Dublin Wind Nelson recently moved on Airport Road over there behind Walmart.
Yes.
They spent a lot of money.
Yes.
And invested back in the community.
That's right.
And they need support, and that's what the chamber does. They were there to have a ribbon cutting, to encourage them. If I'm not mistaken, at least I get emails. If you're a member of the chamber, you'll get an email.
You get an email and let you know
what's going on in the community and where you need to be to help support people.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Well, David, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more with David Polhill. We're back. I'm here with David Polhill, president of Duncan Tire, and we are having such a good time talking about our Chamber of Commerce.
We are, aren't we, Pilar? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. David, how long have you been a part of the Chamber of Commerce per se, or the board of directors?
Right. Well, I've been involved with the chamber since day one. These past, well, it's my third year now actually being on the board with the chamber. And it's been an honor to serve on that board and kind of see how things work and operate. You never kind of know till you're actually in there with them and seeing what's going on. The past couple years I've been very fortunate because I was on the board, to sit in on meetings with the Downtown Development Authority.
Yes.
And what a wonderful job they're doing. I tell you what, they've got it going on downtown. With Tara Bradshaw leading that, and you got all Joshua Kite and Spence Mullis, and I could go on, but that board is super.
Dynamite.
Dynamite. if you haven't been downtown, you're missing it.
It's gorgeous.
What they've done with Theater Dublin, with the plaza there. Of course, now they're trying to finish up with the Carnegie Library. Yes. And I went in there a really long time ago, and I went to they kind of had an open house the other weekend, and man, it is looking great. They've done a lot of work, but it's super job by that authority.
And I'm sure that in those 3 years that you have served for the Chamber board, you have met very interesting people. Like you said, the people from the committee to making downtown beautiful,
yes,
and all that. Other members of the board, you meet people that really give to this community.
Oh yeah, certainly. You get to interact with people otherwise you wouldn't have, and you get to know them, and that's kind of, isn't that what life's about? Relationships.
There you go.
And meeting new people.
We can help each other.
Help each other out.
Yes.
And there's many events that I've gone to with the chamber that, from a business side, I've got a new client. you
Yes,
know.
exactly. And that's one of the advantages of being a member of the chamber and going to the events like Business After Hours and
That's correct.
Business on Breakfast.
That's
Do
correct.
you attend them? Do you
I
go?
try to attend as much as I can. Like I said earlier, I have 2 girls. I'm kind of at that age now where they're on the
They're
go.
doing all kinds of things.
Sports and events,
Yes.
and so. But if I can go, I do go. It's a great networking tool. Of course, you know, as a first thought. Like I said, you know, I'll be honest with you, I've sold a few tires while I've been there. That's
Yes.
not why I'm going.
Right.
But
it's good.
it's good for, it is good for business.
Of
It sure
course.
is. But you know, when somebody is willing to host an event, spend their time and energy, like I've said before, why not support them?
Yes.
You know, plus for $6 you get food and beverages. You know, so I mean,
And get to see friends.
get to
and
see
this
friends.
is once a month. And
just once a month. So, you know, it's the hustle and bustle of work, especially in retail that we're in. You know, I don't have as much time to spend with customers when they come in as I'd like.
Yeah.
So I get to kind of relax when I go to those and kind of get to know people.
Yes.
Get to know them better. Like I said before, isn't that, you know,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. So that's why I go. And also, you can win money at the end of it.
I was
you know.
I was going to mention that.
But,
Did you know that very seldom I missed business after hours?
Mm-hmm.
And this particular time, I was in Colombia, and our flight arrived, and we were really trying to get back in town on time for the business after hours. And we had a lot of traffic in Atlanta, and we didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
That day, I won the cash money.
Cash money, uh-oh.
And when I got home, I had at least 5 or 6
Yep.
people calling me saying, that's what happened when you don't go to the business
Yep.
after hours.
Funny you say that. That's happened to me once. One time
Really?
I got drawn, I wasn't there, of
Oh,
course. So,
well, we're in the same boat.
Yep. So,
I was like, that traffic in Atlanta, I was almost there, but I missed it.
yeah. So,
What else the chamber, what other events, and I know they have a lot of events like for students.
yes, they do actually support the community as far as the youth through the school systems. They have a student of the quarter each quarter that is given you know, a nice plaque to recognize their
kids.
achievements. Also, I'm sure you've seen in the paper, you know, anytime somebody does really well or excels in an activity, whether it's sports or whatever, typically we'll show some support and have them to the chamber meeting, the monthly meeting,
Right.
and recognize them and give them encouragement.
Yes.
You know, if we as a community can encourage our youth, that's great, because it will just give them more confidence to
Yes.
go on and do greater things, and hopefully come back to Dublin. You know,
And that is something people, I mean, you think they don't, but people will never forget
they won't. They sure won't.
that just the same way you mentioned Roger Folsom,
Yep.
you will never forget the support that he gave you when you moved here
that's right.
first. You will never forget that.
I won't. Sure won't.
And the kids, the same thing. If the chamber recognize them, that's something that is going to stay with them for the rest
Yep.
of their lives.
That's worth the membership to me, sure.
Yes.
Especially now that my children are getting older, and you know, I kind of understand more. But
Yes.
that's worth the price of admission right there,
That's
in my
right.
opinion. It sure is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take another break, and we will continue our talk with David Polhill. All right, we're back, and I'm still sitting here with David Polhill.
Yes, ma'am.
I have really enjoyed our talk. I think this is the very first time we sit like this and talk.
It is. We've met a few times, but
Yes.
never talked this in
But
depth
very
before.
fast, but sitting like this
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
first time,
Yeah.
and I'm really enjoying
Well, good. I've
getting
enjoyed
to
it
know
too.
you more.
Been nervous, but I've enjoyed it. Sure have.
Yeah. You know, the McGrath King is such a beautiful place, and I know that you are the head of that committee, making sure our chamber looks beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
I do know that if you have an event, or if you or someone is coming into town, you can actually do it there.
That's correct. You can actually rent out the McGrath-Keene Center if you would like. We've had numerous weddings, receptions, any type of event. It just need to contact the Chamber of Commerce, and they will hook you up if they don't have anything planned for the dates you need.
That's right.
The Chamber does host a lot of events there. The Chamber kind of is a liaison or facilitator with not only the local government, but with government officials, with politicians. And if I'm not mistaken, this week we have possibly the governor coming.
Right.
So the Chamber does do a lot of things, and that allows you to come interact with state representatives or the governor and ask them questions. They're kind of, the Chamber's kind of here to kind of be the liaison, I guess, between the commoners, so to speak, and the government.
I'm sure when they come, they need a place where people can gather, and
that's correct.
What a better place than our own Chamber of Commerce.
That's correct. And I said before, we have one of the nicer chambers in the state, and that's because you know, the Chamber and the Development Authority, I think it was 1988, had the vision to move their facilities to the Morris home. And of course the addition of McGrath-Keene, of course the Louis Livingston Garden is tremendous what our community can do when we put our minds to it and get things done. And Lawrence County needs to be commended for that. They sure do.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed is the beautiful paintings that Francie have done.
Yes, she's a wonderful artist, isn't she?
Oh my goodness, yes.
She actually did my oldest daughter.
Yes.
Sure did.
That is wonderful.
Yep, beautiful painting.
Yeah, well, when I walk in there, everything is so beautiful and nice that I feel like everybody's just looking, you know.
Yeah.
Nice paintings. And so the Development Authority, they are on the second floor. And I know your father-in-law is involved in there.
He is heavily involved, and he and the Development Authority both need to be congratulated for landing another new business that will bring jobs.
Yes.
Also add, you know, tax money to the digest that's needed to keep Dublin-Lawrence County growing.
Yes.
So that's one thing the Chamber does. You know, the Development Authority branched off. The Downtown Development Authority also branched off from the Chamber. That was so they could focus solely on those areas, and the Chamber is there to support them. Kind of, you know, the Chamber is the PR for Lawrence County. So they do a great job of that, and whatever the Chamber can do for small business too.
Yes.
But like you said before, 85%. Is that what you said? Of members are small business, but so if you ever need anything, it's something as simple as, say, hypothetically, you wanted to add on to an existing building and you're not sure about a gas line. I mean, who do I call?
Right.
The Chamber can get you in touch. The Chamber knows a lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people in government
members.
agencies, and have a lot of members.
And members help members.
That's correct. So. Need anything?
Yeah. We keep saying and talking about your father-in-law, your father-in-law. Scott Beasley is your father-in-law.
He is. He's a wonderful father-in-law too.
He's a wonderful man, and is a community man.
He is community through and through. Sure is.
He's all the time for the community.
That's correct.
Well, on that note, David, thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Well, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here. Like I said, glad to represent the Chamber of Commerce. I hope I did okay. But
wonderful, and I know I'm going to be seeing you more and more in the Business After Hours and Business and Breakfast, and the two of us will never ever miss the chance to win money.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
again.
for all of you, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.